Hello and welcome to another Monday MOOcast. I am Mike O'Mara and I am here with...
Andrea Musolf.
And sadly, without Greg. It is a MOcast this week. We are missing Greg to illness and to a trip that he needed to take. So we are going to soldier on this evening and talk about what we played this week on this episode 17. So Andrea, what have you been playing?
Not a lot, I'm ashamed to say. But what little I did get to play this week, I actually went back to Skyrim.
Finally!
Yeah,
cool.
I've put aside Saints Row the Third.
Finally.
Not forever. No, not forever.
It's on the shelf.
Yeah, I still need to play through some of that DLC, but yeah. So all in all, love Saints Row, but decided to take a little break. So I went back to Skyrim with my trusty sidekick. And
are you married yet?
No, not yet.
You're still living in Skyrim sin.
Yeah. So yeah, I played a little bit of that. I found some haunted house that was really scary.
In Skyrim?
Yeah. It was, I was near Markarth.
Oh, it's in the one in Markarth? Yeah. That's so scary. Yeah, with the demon in it?
Yeah.
Oh my god, yeah.
I go in this house like, oh my god, what is happening?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I found some other place. I forget where I am on the map, but I'm going through that cave. They look like goblins. Mm-hmm. So those guys are pretty creepy.
Yeah.
But I ran out of arrows, which is my primary weapon of choice.
That's not good.
I try to be like Katniss Everdeen
from
sure. Hunger Games. I need my arrows. So I ran out of arrows and died a lot. And then I managed to find my way out of the cave so I could go buy more arrows.
Sure.
Then I wanted to go back to the cave, but it was late, so I decided to go to bed. So,
so thus goes Andrea's adventures in Skyrim.
Yeah, to be continued.
So let me ask you a couple questions since you're back into Skyrim, and people play this game in so many different ways. So yeah. I'm wondering, are you just at this point kind of like adventuring and stumbling onto whatever you stumble on and then like going at it this way, or are you like checking a list off of like specific quests and trying to get them done? So right now,
a little bit of both actually. I love having my checklist.
Yeah,
like
sure.
Being able to cross things
sure.
off. Like, for example, my miscellaneous objectives, that thing keeps getting longer.
Longer and longer.
Oh my gosh! I look at it, I'm like, oh geez.
Right.
So I think what I'll do is my strategy is I see where I am on the map. Mm-hmm. I try to pick some sort of objective that I think might be close by.
Right.
And then I usually go to do it. However, between that time where I decide to go travel to that specific quest, something else happens, like the haunted house.
Oh.
That's what happened. I think I went to go visit that guy to give him that dwarven bow, finally, that I meant to do for the longest time.
Sorry
and then
about
I find this haunted house, so I have to solve the mystery of that.
That was one of the, oh my god, it was one of the scariest missions in that game.
Creepy.
It is so scary.
That was the first thing I stumbled upon. I stumbled upon after not playing that game for a few weeks.
So you're like,
oh my god.
It's awesome. So are you a morally good person in Skyrim, or are you neutral, or are you fairly evil? You just steal what you want?
I think I'm good for the most part. However, I know once I get to the Dark Brotherhood and all of those, sure, I can destroy them and, be the super awesome good person, but I think it'd be so much more fun to join them.
Yeah.
So
oh, yeah.
I have yet to do that, but everyone says they really like those quests.
They're so good. Yeah.
I look forward to starting those.
Yeah, it's really awesome. I finished Dark Brotherhood and Thieves Guild are the only two actually that I have finished all the way through, and that's because the storyline for both was so good that I was like obsessive compulsive about like finishing those quests rather than getting caught up in just the game as I tend to do. But I got to get back into that game. Now you got me fired up about it. I haven't picked it up in weeks since the Hearthfire came out. I checked out that expansion, and then I kind of just put it aside again after a day and a half or something like that. Which leads me to the next question. So did you buy the Vampire or the Hearthfire?
Not yet, but I think I'm going to be doing that in the very near future. Just because now I'm getting back into Skyrim. Yeah. It's like, I forgot how much I love.
I would love to have a little condo.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I recommend them both. They're fun in their own little way. Although I repeat my rant from a couple podcasts ago that I do hope that they give us more like meaty story DLC because like as cool as it is to have a house, like I want to ride dragons and become a samurai or something like that. So that would be cool if they do that. So let's see. As for me, I've played a little bit of everything this week, but mostly Borderlands 2.
Shocking.
Borderlands 2. It was completely worth standing outside in the cold at midnight to get Borderlands 2.
Did
I did. I'm a sucker.
Oh.
Yeah, I had it ordered from an online site, but I actually waited till the last minute and then canceled my online order because I was like, no, I'd rather get it 12 hours earlier. So I did. So I got it at midnight, and I was tired and I was cold and I was getting pneumonia, but it was completely worth it.
How up were you late playing Borderlands 2?
About 3:50 or something like that. Yeah, I probably hit the pillow at 4 and had to wake up at 8 for a meeting or something like that. So it was not a fun Tuesday, but completely worth it. It's very fun. It's an awesome game. Actually, let's talk a little bit about some news that came out this week. And this is, I don't know how horrifying this is to you, Andrea, but it's pretty horrifying to me. The co-CEOs of Bioware, which is one of our favorite companies here on the MOOcast, if you've been listening, they up and called it a career this last week. On the Bioware.com site, both of the CEOs decided to call it quits, and they, for their own reasons, they said they've done everything they wanted to accomplish in games, and it's been a good 17 years at the company, and no more. And usually this wouldn't be such a big deal, they're just some, heads of some gaming company, like if the head of EA quits tomorrow, I doubt that the MOOcast is going to talk about it or care. Well, I mean, it'll keep churning. But the fact of the matter is, BioWare has created some of our most favorite RPGs, like really, really awesome games. And these two guys were really, really involved in the actual storyboarding and planning of all these great stories that we really love. Now with both of them gone, they've been the only bosses and only creative directors of this company. The question is, what happens now to all of our favorite franchises? Are they just gonna become another cookie cutter, just like every other game? Because, as we all know, BioWare is owned by EA, the evil empire. So, what's going to happen now? I mean, I'm pretty freaked out.
It's scary because I didn't know that until you just mentioned it, and it seems rather sudden.
It's really sudden.
Bye,
right.
Company.
Right.
Bye. I don't know.
So
the big question is, what's going to happen? I don't know.
And right after they announced that, a day or two later, EA said that they're making another Mass Effect, right now.
Really?
Yeah, so I'm wondering if they were pushed out. Because I know that they've gone on record before saying that Mass Effect 3 is the end of that story. They have said on record that they might go back to that universe, but everyone from the trilogy, that you should put that in the past, it should be whatever. And now EA is coming out and saying, no, maybe not. We're going to make another one. So I am afraid, I'm afraid that given that they're owned by EA and EA wants to do nothing but make sequel after sequel after sequel and put action on RPG games and make everything multiplayer that doesn't deserve to be or need to be, I'm afraid that that's what it's going to be. It's going to be like, hey, that multiplayer that no one played after a week? We're going to make a whole game out of it.
Yes!
I am afraid. I am afraid for BioWare.
I don't know, just thinking in terms of Mass Effect, because that I certainly played those games quite a bit with BioWare, and I know I mentioned it before, with it ended, sure, but I'd be okay if that's where it ended. I think it seemed like a good place to end it.
Right.
And now, if we're like, oh wait, just kidding, we're gonna add more, that just seems it's overkill. It's I think everything has to end at some point. It's you're just drawing it out.
Right.
I don't know.
Especially for a game that, yes, it has great action. Yes, it controls great. But at its core, it's still a role-playing game, which is story should be number one.
Yeah.
So if they had always plotted out this epic story and they told all the storylines they wanted to tell, it just seems that anything over that, it's not even icing. It's just extra. It's drivel. It's we don't need this.
It's fluff.
Right, yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's fluff that we don't need. So it's like when you read Lord of the Rings and then there's also 15 appendices. Like, you're not going to read the appendices, who cares? Like, you read the storyline, you know? Mm-hmm. And that's coming from the biggest Lord of the Rings nerd in the world. I read the books, like, every year, so that's how much I hate appendices.
It's funny you mentioned Lord of the Rings because I was just thinking, oh, Lord of the Rings, nice trilogy. Beginning, middle, end.
Right.
Done.
Right.
Mass Effect, you'd think it'd be the same thing. 1, 2, 3, beginning, middle, end. No, maybe there's more.
Right, and can you imagine what would happen if, like, the Tolkien family was like, you know what, we haven't made enough billions, so let's write another one, even though he's dead for 70 years. Like, let's do it again. That's what I'm afraid of now. Like, so these guys have been like guiding these stories for 17 years, and now all of a sudden neither of them are there to guide the story. Like, it's the same kind of thing. If you had like Tolkien's family and cousins and like second grandson or like whatever, like continue his story, you're going to lose something. You're bound to lose something. So that's what I'm afraid of. I'm afraid of that. I hope that Bioware, continues churning out the same quality games that we come to expect from them. But that's a real loss in my mind if the quality of the story goes away, because I've loved every single game they've ever come out with. So. Mm-hmm. Oh, bummer. Oh, sad day.
Time will tell.
Sad day. Time will tell. So, back to Borderlands 2, because I can't wait more than 5 minutes without talking about this game anymore. It is fantastic. If you haven't played it, go get it, go rent it, go steal it. Don't steal it, but buy it.
Now,
do something.
Here's a question for you.
Yes.
I haven't played any of the Borderlands games.
Okay.
Do you think, do you need to play the first one in order to play the second one?
No, absolutely not.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely not. And I think they did a good turn by doing this, that it satisfies the longtime Borderlands fan, but it also really, really gives a new Borderlands fan a great place to jump into the game. What they did was they took the original 4 characters from the first Borderlands and they made them a part of this Borderlands story, but they didn't make them playable. So, like, you don't... Yeah, and what they did is they gave new powers and stuff to the new people. So, like, you can't... So if you're a longtime player, you're going in having to learn new skills and how to use them, but you get your old storyline, like you get the old characters that you know and love, they're still in the game. But if you're a new player, it's not like you're at a disadvantage because like everyone else has been playing this game the same way for the past couple of years. You know what I mean? Like everyone's kind of jumping in new in terms of the gameplay, so I think it actually works for both types of player. And it's just an awesome game. It's just so awesome. It's so streamlined and it runs so well. I just can't rave enough about it. But I want to talk about something in particular that struck me when I was playing Borderlands 2 a couple days ago, and that was I found that I really enjoyed the story missions in Borderlands 2. I really, really enjoyed the process of finding a new town or city. If you don't know anything about Borderlands, it's this huge planet. So basically you're adventuring all around this planet. It's kind of like Skyrim size. It's big. Okay. And you go to different parts of it, and in different parts there are different cities or towns or like whatever, and you go meet people in the towns, and then just like any RPG, they've got quests and things for you to do, and you can choose to do them or not. You can choose in what order to do them, and you get rewards for it. So it's like Skyrim, but cel-shaded and with guns and crude humor. So that's what it's like. And I found that I was really engaged in the process of like finding these new towns and going out on the story missions. And usually in games like Borderlands, where it's mostly about finding loot, I don't really care so much for the missions. I just care about blowing stuff away or like getting better guns or like whatever. And I realized I actually liked the missions in this one a lot more than the last one. And when I kind of examined why that was, I found that it wasn't actually the story itself or the mission itself. It was all the little details. So I realized that when I came back from a story mission, the people in the town would react to what I had just done. So there was new dialogue every time. And the people in the town were like walking around, and if you watched them, they would like go about their like business. Like they weren't just like static, like this guy is always sitting on the park bench or whatever. Like he would actually get up and go like take a smoke or like go get lunch at his house and come back.
Okay.
And it's all that kind of stuff that really like sucked me in. And I realized that it's not just about the mission, it's really about the whole experience and the whole world. And the more realized the world is, the more I get sucked into stories and games. So I wonder if you have any similar experiences like that, or like a game that you really like the realized world, and that's what really draws you in.
I don't mean to keep going back to Mass Effect, but because we were just talking about Bioware, it's fresh on my mind.
Right.
When I played through the story, I loved how all of the games were connected. So anything that you did would carry over to the next game.
Right,
which
sure.
is partly why I asked with Borderlands if you needed to play the first one. And I knew with Mass Effect, because I heard that was the case, I knew I needed to start at the beginning.
At the first one.
I couldn't do the cheat, shortcut,
right.
quick select
thing.
Which I actually did when I played I'm going off on a tangent here. I did that when I played the Mass Effect 2 demo. I did that before anything else, like months and months and months ago.
Yeah.
And I remember the shortcuts, to skip for the first one. I had no idea what was going on, so I'm like, sure. Okay.
I killed this person.
Yeah, I ended up killing Ashley, even in my random thing. So I saved Hot Space Guy.
Oh my god.
Anyway, so I liked how the story was connected, and I think it got better with each game. I really noticed it in Mass Effect 3. You'd be walking through the Citadel or wherever, and the people would be commenting on actual events. I think it's probably the closest game I've played that has that sort of like real connection to the story.
Right.
So I think that's probably one of the reasons why I liked Mass Effect so much, because every choice mattered and carried over to something else. Right.
Yeah, as you were just saying that, I was thinking that maybe there's other kind of genres that have that same kind of effect on me, and I realized that I've got a pretty good example from shooters, and I think this is a big reason why I tend to like Battlefield more than I like Call of Duty. And it's because in Battlefield's the game system that's running Battlefield, it's called the Frostbite engine. In the engine that's running it, there is the ability for real-time destruction that is not scripted. So in Battlefield, if you are shooting something that's very powerful, you can literally blow away part of a building. And that's not like scripted. It's not a story moment. Like it either happens or it doesn't based on what you're doing at that moment. So I realized that I'm sucked in a lot more to those battles than I am in Call of Duty, because in Call of Duty, like, the levels are the levels. Like, they might look awesome, but, like, you're not going to, like, no matter how many grenades you throw, that level's going to still look like the level. Yeah. You know what I mean? Obviously, a different kind of game, more of a corridor shooter than an open world shooter like Battlefield. But I think a big reason of why I'm drawn into Battlefield as a shooter fan more than Call of Duty is because of that, because it just feels alive. When there's these details about it that mimic reality better, I just feel like I'm more playing a role. So it's like role playing in the truest sense. Like I really feel like that's what it would be like if I was a soldier. Besides the fact that I'd be peeing my pants if his people were really shooting at me. That's kind of what it would be like. You know what I mean? So I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's why I had such a connection with Mass Effect, because these characters, they were like real people. You build relationships with these people, and it would be sad when one of them would die. And
super sad,
you have to make all these difficult decisions, and especially with you being able to customize Shepard, it's like you are.
That's really you.
Shepard, yeah. So that part of it was really cool, as opposed to playing just some random character, which is still fun, but you just feel more of a connection when it's more realistic.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. And realistic in terms of like relationships and like whatever, not so much in terms of like 2012 Earth, because obviously Mass Effect is like you're talking to like squids and floating things and like whatever. But if the relationships and the dialogue are realistic enough and the world seems like it's lived in, that draws you in. Yeah. Even though it's like you're playing with space guns and stuff, like,
Well, it's a world, it's a fantasy world. It's cool, it's an escape, because it's like, this isn't every day.
Right. No, it's absolutely true. So, in other news this week, Black Ops 2. We are all waiting for Black Ops 2. The entire world is waiting for Call of Duty Black Ops 2. And it's super true. Look at how many like pre-orders they have. It's ridiculous. Yeah. It's like you're either, if you are Apple or Activision, your life is great right now, because the new iPhone just came out, and Black Ops 2 is coming out, and you've just made trillions of dollars. If you're anyone else, you are poor. That's how democracy works, folks. But anyways, Black Ops 2 is coming out, as we know, this November, and in anticipation of it, they've decided to kind of give us little snippets of the gameplay in different facets in these little teaser previews. And their latest teaser preview they came out with this past week, is the first teaser for the Black Ops Zombies mode. I know, Andrea, you didn't have a chance to view it yet, but just as a recap for those listening, basically what it is it shows a destroyed kind of town, and it's in the dark, and you can hear like that crazy cackly zombie laughter with a high voice from the Black Ops thing. You can kind of hear that in the background. And this like Greyhound bus pulls up to this big station. And the Greyhound bus is obviously, like, there's, like, dried blood on the front of it, so it's been running through zombies, and there's blood on the side of it. It's a mess. It's got mud and blood all over the place. And it's obviously messed up, so it's been through some things. And it rolls up to this station, and the camera zooms in on the door like you are about to be a passenger, like you're about to get on the bus, like a public bus.
Okay.
And the door's open to you, and you can't really see who's in there, but it says, like, welcome aboard, and then, like, the zombies laugh again, and then that's it. And that's all they'll let us see until, I think, the end of next week. No, this week. No, next week. Next week, they've promised they're going to come out on the 26th with the whole Zombies preview video. So we'll see some actual gameplay, hopefully, then. But that's all they showed. But from that, I'm pretty psyched, because I'm just going to do a little speculation here, because we haven't seen any gameplay yet. They haven't told us any details, so this is purely out of my head. And if it's wrong, the next time we do a MOOcast, I apologize to everyone out there in Internetville. But here's what I think. From the setting, it looks like it's going to be a whole world that's just gone zombie. It looks a lot more like they're trying to make it a real like story, and less of like a whole like level specific kind of like side thing that you do when you're not playing Call of Duty. I'm excited for that. Like, so if they have a fully realized story, I really hope that is true. The next thing is, from the way that the camera angle made it look like you're the person about to get on the bus, I am speculating that maybe there's a central hub, like maybe it really is a bus station that they've defended against the zombies, or maybe that's just what the server is, like when you log on and decide to go to this server or this server for whatever gameplay you want to do. But I'm hoping what it means is that the levels are more kind of consistent, like all in one time and all in kind of like one place. Because even though I like really like the fact that the Black Ops 1 zombies kind of went all over, went crazy, like one's on the moon and one's in the Arctic and one's in the jungle, I would actually kind of like a more centralized story. I think that would be really cool. That's kind of the reason why I really like Left 4 Dead, because if you go through the campaigns, it's like you are really following the survivor's story.
Mm-hmm. I like that.
Yeah, and I would really like that to happen in Black Ops 2 as well. So that's kind of my speculation. What do you hope, Andrea, for Black Ops Zombies?
It sounds good. I mean, I'm sure I mentioned this before, but with Black Ops, I never really got into zombies until quite recently, actually.
We got a shout out to Greg, who can't be here this week, but Greg told us, and we promised him that we would mention it to everyone in the internet, that he finally got all of the achievements in Black Ops Zombies 1. Good job, Greg. You are the biggest nerd I've ever known. Fantastic.
We should mention that he got that. Was it the moon Easter egg? Yeah, it was the moon Easter egg that he was going for. You got it with Brian Stone.
Brian Stone! Wow, that's pretty incredible. I just don't have that kind of dedication.
I'm not sure whether to be like
proud or sad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, let's go with proud.
Yeah.
We can go with proud.
We still like you, Greg.
Yeah.
What was I saying? Oh yeah, zombies.
Yeah.
So, I got into it somewhat recently, and I've certainly improved. Mm-hmm. I'm by no means the greatest zombie player ever.
Sure.
I'm still quite terrible. But I would like to see more of a story. I know there was a story with Black Ops,
but it's kind of like hidden. It's kind of weird.
Yeah,
hidden in Easter eggs and stuff.
You really have to find it. And I mean, these bizarre maps are quite fun. You know, like on the moon or in some jungle or wherever. Yeah, they're fun. But I think it would be cool with this bus idea. Again, we don't know if this is true, but if you could hop on a bus, you go to one place with your amigos and kill some zombies. Oh, hey guys, let's go to this map now. You can change at any point. I think that'd be pretty cool.
And they also haven't told us what time period it takes place in yet.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
Imagine if it's in the future, like the actual game's
like
going to be.
Game.
Oh my god, with like a whole like
snap.
destroyed America. Oh my, I can't.
I need to see this trailer for myself because I actually got the email today from Call of Duty and the subject was zombies, ... Like, oh, okay. So I'm going to click on it and I see there was the video and I'm at work. I can't watch a zombie video
not safe for work. That's too bad.
So that'd be awkward, you know.
It would be.
Somebody walks by, what are you doing?
Yeah, well, nothing, research.
Yeah.
All right, well, we've had a busy week in gaming with all this Bioware news and these zombie news, and we're looking forward to another one this week. What do you think you'll be playing over the next couple days here, Andrea?
Probably some more Skyrim. I've really, I've gotten back into it, so we'll see. Yeah, my trusty sidekick. Oh, and he's dressed up in a chef's hat.
Look at that.
Because it's funny.
Yeah, can you get any better than that? How close are you to the end of the main storyline in Cavern? Do you know?
Oh, wow. Not very. Let's see. I'm trying to remember the last major plot thing I did. I remember being in the mountains with those magic dudes.
Yeah, the old dudes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I think there was something else. I don't know. That's how
so
long it's been.
you're still near the beginning. If
I'm
you're talking
only
about
level 21, almost 22.
Cool. Well, you got a nice long journey ahead of you. That's awesome. I'm going to be playing more Borderlands 2. Surprise, surprise! Because that game is awesome.
I didn't see that one coming.
No, I bet you didn't. But you should check it out. You, Andrea, and you out there in the internet.
Yeah.
It's a really fabulous, awesome game, especially if you like co-op and loot and seriously crazy guns. It's a really, really fun game.
I like all of those things.
Oh, well, then you would like that game. All right, so we're going to sign off here and maybe go eat some pizza or something like that. And we hope all of you in Internetville had a good time listening to this episode. If you do, make sure that you are subscribed to us on the iTunes and have fun commenting on our YouTube or on our Facebook account. As always, we are the Moo. We'll see you next time by signing off.